when you mark off a wall, you start on the outside edge, your stuff is going to be 4 feet long. So you want your, when you're marking this off, your 4-foot piece, you're going to want to break on your 4-foot mark. So in order to do that, you pull from the outside edge, that is your 4-foot mark. So if you went and put this on the 4-foot mark and you tried to put a piece of material up there that was 4 feet wide, it's not going to hit anything. So you need to mark it back 3/4 of an inch so it sets dead center. So you hook the outside and mark 47 1/4, and that will give you dead center, or 23 1/4, and then 47 1/4, and on down the line, so that every time you come up to your mark, you want to be dead center. Like, see, this next one will be at 6 feet. And Paul's going down through here marking these off. See, the next piece is 4-foot sections that we're using. So you got the mark, and the X marks the way the board goes. So this is going to be my next one. Always want to make sure that you're at the center of your 8 feet, not at the beginning and not at the end of it, because if you do, your material will not work in here if you're using 4-foot material. So you always break back. So whatever you're pulling, if it's 2 foot on center, you always want to drop back 3/4 of an inch from 2 foot, 3/4 of an inch from 4 feet, 3/4 of an inch back from 6 feet, and so on down the line. And that way your material will work.
Now if you get that stabilized, you go back 4 foot.
Yeah.
Then you go back 2 foot. Back on your numbers.
Once you come down the end, you just start over again. You start on the outside. See, this board is going to be sitting right there. See, he's hooking it on that outside where it's going to be. So now he can actually pull every 2 feet set ahead, see? It's only when you start out on the outside wall, because when you start out on the outside wall, you're going to start in with the minus 3/4 of an inch on every 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Once you get to that last number and you've pulled your last number, the rest of them, you're just going to hook the 2x4 and pull every 2 feet, because this one is already set back 3/4 of an inch. So since we're set back 3/4 of an inch, now you're going to start marking everything at 2, 4, so that your material will still line up from the other end. I hope you understand that. In an older mobile home, from this end to that end, you might have some sway back in your house. So in order to try to get this thing as straight as we can, you want to start at this side right here, and we're going to put a string line and wrap it around that screw right there, right at the bottom of this plate. And we're going to do another one. That's what Paul's going down there to do. And then we're going to pull a string line across here and see if we can bring all of this level from here to there. Try. Okay, so we ran our string line with the bottom of this all the way down through there. Oh, we got one touching right here. Nothing touching, nothing touching. That was touching. Yeah, that's holding me out a little bit. I'm gonna have to do something to hold that back. There it is. Now we want, you can notice our string line, it's not straight.
Yeah, it's low.
That's how much lower it is right here than it is down there and the other end. Look at that. That's almost an inch, Paul.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Does that go up too?
So we're gonna go to the worst part and see if we can pull some of that up. I don't know if we're gonna try to get it all, but we're gonna see what happens. Put it right underneath that steel beam.
Okay. I'm trying to get my layoff.
I don't care about the layoff right now. I care about being under that steel beam. And this is a layoff, that's a layoff. We can go beside them. I don't care about that. You know what I mean? Step on or just cut the board off a little bit.
Yeah. You go with that.
So if we get it all the way at one time.
You hear it?
I can hear it.
Every time I jacket. Sounds sweet.
I like it. Doing what we wanted.
Yeah.
Exactly what I wanted right there, Paul.
Yeah, it's gonna have fun on the wall, see?
I was just getting ready to tell you, you gotta watch your jack, Paul.
No, I was watching everything else.
I know. You have to watch your jack.
I start all back over.
You need another piece of wood in front of that jack, Paul. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, if you had something underneath that wood, it would probably keep it from going down. You understand what I'm saying about that?
I want the wood to go down.
Into the ground?
Yeah.
Why?
That's my stabilize the wood.
I was saying a piece of that underneath it.
No, you want it to go down.
Huh?
You want the wood to go down.
I think you're good. Keep tipping. I don't think it's going to go nowhere.
No.
Want to take a look on the inside?
I just need to measure it for right there. Right there.
Alright, let's get it right now. Alright, well, we brought that up quite a bit. What you need, Paul? A hammer?
2-4.
2x4?
Yeah.
For the front.
Hammer second.
Let me go ahead and take a look on the inside. Start down there. Put a block here in the middle at the other end of your board. Actually, I think we went to there. To the outside. And then run a string line all the way across. And try to get this wall just as straight as you can get it. And boy, we have made a huge difference. Huge difference, Paul. I can't even believe how much difference
It's coming.
that changed that.
23 3/4.
You couldn't go a little past?
What?
Because it's going to settle.
I went 8.
23 3/4?
Yep.
Coming up. Just need to go in between every one of them we got now.
Yep.
Yeah, now just start. Now that you got one at the end, one at that end, you ran your string line down through here. What we're working on is getting this board up with everything else. Now you can obviously know that these are going to be up and down. We're just trying to get it just as straight as we can. You're going to have a little bit of difference here and there. This one here is sitting up underneath a beam and a bolt, so when that goes up, it should tighten that right up. Go in between every one. Once we got that one up, we put one there. Once we got this one up, we put one there. Once we got that one up, we put one over here. Now we're going to go into the center of there, jack it, measure it, put one there, go 1/8 taller, and that will settle down to it, Paul.
Yep.
I think Jack needs to, yep. Ain't nothing like a hydraulic jack.
20 ton.
We lifted up a 2-story house with several of them, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, not one.
No, not one. We lifted a 2-story house. We have videos of it.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that, perfect. Measure. Got them in there. Look at that line now.
Straight.
That line is beautiful. What a difference, man.
Yep.
And listen, sounds like you're hitting a tree, for crying out loud. It's so solid. Solid.
Hey, my hand.
Now, see what we got. See our line? I'm sorry about that fall.
Not a problem.
I know.
I can deal with it.
I just flung it at you. See, that's what we're looking at. We're looking for a straight line all the way down through there, and you can see it now. This one here in between, a little bit down, I don't care. Got a stiff leg in here, but as you notice, as we're going down through here, what we got? See that? Watch this. Little hydraulic jack.
10 years old.
Oh yeah, we did them floors. We literally, guys, we lifted a house. And we have videos of it. I think it was, I think I named it Drew's Roofing and Home Repair Main Beam Replacement. 2-story house. We jacked that bad boy. That's looking really good, Paul. We jacked that thing up. It was sad. Every floor joist was eaten up by termites. Yes, it was eaten up by termites. Oh my God! And we had to replace every floor joist. Actually, we ended up sistering beside them, but how much was that?
23 and 5/8.
23 and 5/8.
What the hell are you doing? I told you about sneaking up on me.
I like that, buddy. Looking better, ain't it?
Yeah. That's better than the way he had it.
I told you in there, how they beat it in there.
Beat it in?
Yeah, give it.
What a huge difference. Look at that. So 2x4. 2x4. Of course, it's in the dirt, not on concrete. Nice and really pretty straight down through there. I mean, that is straight, buddy. I like it. It looks so good down through there. It ain't funny. So what we had going on here was we had such a big sag in this place. We run a string line from one end to the other and popped the line, and our line was up there. Now we're coming down flush with the bottom of that. So we raised this thing literally an inch. You can see the blue line that we popped right above there, and that's where we are now. So this is how you want to run your underpinning. Starting from your outside, you want everything to break on 2 feet, 4 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet. See, that's how you want your stuff to break all the way down through. So when you're laying off your wall plate, that's why you go back 3/4 of an inch so that your 4 foot will break. If I would have just hooked out here and marked 4 feet and set ahead of that, you notice that's why my would not work. My piece of underpinning wouldn't work, because my underpinning is exactly 4 feet. So working out good.
Give me a hand.
Yes, sir.
Hold this out.
Need it out here?
Yeah, both ends.
What's holding you? The strap?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm good on this end.
Yeah.
Nice. Need a hammer? Tap it just a slight bit. Looks right there. I like it. Oh, nice and tight.
Yep.
Beautiful. Underpinning, everybody. This is how. Very simple.
That's the way we do it.
Well, the way we do it.
Yeah, the way we do it.
The underpinning that we're not going to use standard underpinning, the plastic stuff, because with that you would have a little plastic strip in the ground with spikes in it, and then you'd have a piece up here. You'd screw it down to the base up here, and then next time the wind blew, it'd probably blow out. So we like to use hardy board, and yes, our hardy board is going to the ground, and that's why we paint it with oil-based paint. All sides, anywhere where it's cut, it has to be painted oil-based, 2 coats. Work on bringing in incognito.
Yeah, right. You might need to bring him in anyway.
I'm bringing in incognito.
Almost got that finger.
Do you like it?
I like it.
Let that jack down. But it don't go nowhere.
It ain't going nowhere.
It's a beautiful thing, Paul. All right, let's put one here in the middle. Give me the number for that.
Nope.
Are you going up top?
I gotta tie this in.
Gotta tie them together. 46 and a half.
Yeah.
Don't mess me up, Paul.
46 and a half.
46 and a half, coming up. Yeah.
They won't take our cookie.
Cookies.
Yeah, they won't take our cookies.
What that? Oh, yeah? Oh.
Side cookie.
Yeah. And all we're doing here is just because the outlookers come out here, I'm tying it all together. You don't necessarily need these.
No, don't need them.
No, you don't need them, but I like them. I think it's better.
Yep.
Just hooks everything together, makes it one piece all the way down through there. Because our first piece can only go in between all of our outlookers. We're just making it secure, so it's all one piece now. And boy, what a huge difference in the sway back of this thing. 22 3/4. That piece you made me cut wrong, I use it.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, 23 7/8.
Yeah. I thought you used it somewhere.
Oh, this one's 22 3/4.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Uh-uh. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Dead battery. Take it in the ground, man.
Driving it into the ground nice and tight. Don't go anymore.
Yeah,
Paul. Paul.
What, you going up?
Oh yeah.
Get out of here.
Oh no.
Oh, cool. No, you didn't get measurements, so I screwed up.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. great. One more piece over that. That'll bring everything out flush.
Yeah, but put a piece here and a piece up here. I got 2 of them right on the deck over there.
Are they that wide?
3.5 inches. That's all I need. It's really still in the strip.
Right.
No, I'm gonna have the whole thing.
No.
I got 2 strips. 2 strips over there. You put wrong.
Yeah, perfect.
I have 76.5.
That's the total number?
Yep.
Rip down?
No.
3.5?
No, 3.5.
3.5 inches, 3.5 inches.
Yeah.
Six.
And that's what hit me, killed my crack up.
176. 76.5?
76.5.
Okay, that'll
I
work.
need one more stud over there.
Yep.
Yeah, one more stud.
One more. There is nothing that says which way to frame this in. Nothing's going to tell you you can do this, you can't do that. It is all going to go by what works. Okay, so this is what we found at this end would work. Remember, this had a big old steel beam that came across here,
A quicker steel beam.
and it was smashed like all this under pieces were, so we cut it out and got rid of it. Cut it out and got rid of it completely. So that end down there, since we only had a certain amount to frame to, we went with 1.5 inches on the flat. Fortunately for this side, we had a nice base up here, and then of course with our base down here, we're able to put them the other way, and this way here it didn't matter because we didn't have the same situation we had over there. So it doesn't matter as long as when you hook one side and you pull your measurements over, they fall on 4 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet. That's the most important thing. All right, Paul, let's clean up. That's good for a day. 2 more screws. Well, let me get the heck out of your way. And I'm gonna start picking up tools and throw them in the trailer. Well, that's our day. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope we helped you. This is traditional underpinning. See that? That's traditional. Yes, it is garbage. Okay, but I want you to see this stuff. If you're going to use that plastic underpinning, this would be the bottom right there, and you would take them spikes that go through it and drive them down into the ground back there. So basically, let me see if I can do this. All right, so this is normal underpinning bottom rail. You would put your bottom rail down on the ground wherever it lined up with the top of your place, and then you would take one of these, which is actually a gutter spike, and there's a spot right in the back. You would stick it in which they did, and then you just drive that into the ground like that. Go to the other end, and you would just literally drive that into the ground like that. Okay, and then over here in the middle, find your spot, drive that into the ground like that, down to the ground, and that would be what held your bottom in place. That's it right there. But every time the wind blows or it rains, it loosens up and whatnot and other. So if you were going to use a vinyl type siding, this is what you would use for your bottom track with the spikes, which is all that holds it in place. And then you'd put your pieces up and you'd screw them behind this. So if you had underskirting, you would have to lift this up somehow, attach it to your wall band, which is what that is, and then slip it into this track, and that's how your underpinning would go. No, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I like something substantial from my underpinning, so that's why we use this. And this is the way we frame ours up. And I will be using hardy board, or actually it's going to be hardy plank or hardy. It's 4x8 sheets.
4x8 sheet hardy board.
4x8 sheets hardy board. Thank you, Paul. You can make a door any way you want to in this stuff too. Put a little frame up. Literally before you put your underpinning on, frame it in, cut a hole out, make a door. It's pretty easy. You'll need one for that.